So hello and welcome back if you're coming back, and welcome if it's your first time. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to thrive when others mess up? Like it's almost as if they get a kick out of seeing someone else fail. And maybe even you personally could really feel for that, because you've had that experience of the shining one too many times, and at the moment, you have some people judging over decisions made by you. And you're seen as someone crazy, some kind of a crazy dude they think you are, who has no meaning or goals. But that's not true, because you have a purpose in life, and many are going to be amazed later on when they see how wrong they have been. And we have some people like that in society. People always find ways to shun others without thinking or researching on the real truth about everything which is happening. And we are guided to talk about that today. Why is it that some people take joy in other people's downfalls? There are some people who have had very tough lives and probably are still struggling, and probably you also might be one of them. I mean, it can happen to you, to me, to anyone else you might know. But things might not be as how it all looks on the surface to the public. We are all aware of people who manipulate others spiritually just to get their way. And unfortunately, when you are a public figure, the interest on what your business is all over the place. And I believe there are some people who really are being manipulated spiritually to act crazy or look crazy. I know that almost happened to me once during the first times I was getting awakened, and when I had no inclining at all of what spiritualism was. I'm not saying I'm totally awakened, but not the same as how I started out. And I'm not the same. And sometimes I even laugh at my old self for those crazy moments, because it was really crazy shifts. And sometimes you cannot, you just can't do anything about it. And if you don't know someone well, you could easily judge the outbursts caused by spiritual manipulation as something like being bipolar, or yet that would not have been the truth. So let us look at a real world example to think about, somebody we all know and frequently hear about. And that person is the Justin Bieber. For example, he used to be on top of the world, right? World tours, #1 hits, millions of fans. Then he had a rough patch, plenty of mistakes, personal drama, things went downhill for him. He had some very public struggles, missteps, bad decisions, drama, you name it. Now you think that people would have empathy for him, right? But no, what happened instead? The internet went wild. People started picking apart every little mistake. It felt like they were waiting for him to mess up and rooting for it. Why? Because for some reason, when someone falls from grace, it makes some people feel better about themselves, and such a thing could have happened to you as well. It could happen to anyone. It's weird how people act like it's a win for them. Why do you think that is? Why would someone get joy from another person's downfall? And I think it has a lot to do with how people perceive success. People are all over what Justin Bieber was doing. I mean, and it's still the same. I mean, the internet practically devoured his struggles, and the internet is still doing the same thing. Think about it. How many videos did you see on YouTube dissecting every single one of Justin Bieber's mistakes? How many people made entire careers off of his struggles? We are talking millions of views, like shares, all based on his pain and his mistakes. And it was the same even for Selena Gomez. It's almost as if they were using his failure to elevate him themselves. But here's the thing, why does that happen? Why do we get so drawn to watching someone fall? It's almost like we want to feel better about ourselves by comparing our lives to theirs, even if that means putting someone else down. If we can look at someone else's worst moments and say, well, at least I'm not that bad, it somehow boosts our self-esteem, right? And for some people, when they see someone like him struggle, it's almost like they think, hey, I'm better than that. So they elevate themselves by tearing down someone who's fallen. And it's not just that they are feeling better, but there's also a part of them that enjoys the drama, right? People love watching the fall from grace story. It makes them feel like their life's more stable in comparison, even if it's not. But here's the problem with that. This isn't just happening to Justin Bieber or any other kind of a public figure. It happens every single day in different forms. And it even happens probably to you too. Yeah, and social media and platforms on social media makes it even worse. People tear each other down, spread gossip, exploit someone else's mistakes for their own gain. And it's not just for fun. It's for views, like likes, money. It's become a way of building a platform, a brand, a following. There is this huge market for exposing or commenting on the failures of famous people. Look at how some YouTubers make videos about celebrities' downfalls, turning it into drama-filled content that gets millions of views. The more scandalous, the better. It's kind of messed up, though. I mean, yeah, it's entertaining, but at the end of the day, these are real people with real problems. When Justin Bieber had his issues, there were channels that built entire content strategies just around him sleeping up. They made money off of his lowest points. People have figured out that the more scandalous, the more dramatic, the more humiliating the story, the better it does online. There is money to be made off of other people's pain. What if their stories were also put up for everyone to see? What do you think would happen? And these YouTubers are using his failure as a stepping stone to elevate their own platforms. It's like, look how bad this person is doing, and here I am pointing it out. But it feels less like empathy and more like a self-serving opportunity. I get why people are drawn to drama. It's entertaining to watch someone else's downfall, but at what point does it cross the line from entertainment to exploitation? Shouldn't there be a point where we just let people be? I mean, he already has had enough all his life. He has been exploited. Honestly, I think some people are just so focused on their own gain that they don't care about that line. They see success in views, in likes, and the more sensational the content, the better, even if it means building it on someone else's pain. So let me ask you, what does that say about us as a society? What does it say about us when we find entertainment in someone else's downfall? Why does it feel like we need to climb up by stepping on someone else's missteps? Isn't that the opposite of what we should be doing? It says a lot. It says we are looking for validation through comparison rather than focusing on our own journey. Some people feel more secure about themselves when they can look down on someone else, even if it's for the wrong reasons. But I think if we take a step back, we can all agree that a person's mistakes shouldn't define them forever. Just because someone's on a low doesn't mean they deserve to be picked apart by others. There is always room for growth. But unfortunately, in today's world, there is a lot of power in tearing people down rather than helping them build up. Whether it's on YouTube or just in our daily interactions, people need to realize that another person's failure doesn't make their success any sweeter. And you never know, any person who puts down another can be in the same position later on. You never know what could happen to you. For sure, I just wish we could all focus on building each other up more instead of using someone's low point as a way to elevate ourselves. It's important to remember that everyone, has their struggles and we all make mistakes. Maybe if we all had more empathy, the whole thriving on someone else's failure thing wouldn't feel so common because it's being normalized everywhere. We all make mistakes, and that normalization of doing such kind of gossiping is just sheer sin in the way of God. We all make mistakes. We all fall short sometimes. And Justin Bieber, he's not different. He's a human being just like the rest of us. But it's so easy to forget that when we are watching from the outside, from the comfort of our screens, how many of us put ourselves in his place? Yeah, if people could just see that, it would be a game changer. So I want to leave you with this thought today. What if we all stopped looking for the mistakes in others and instead started looking for ways to lift each other up? Think about how much better we'd all feel, not just because we are helping someone else, but because we are focusing on the good instead of building ourselves up by tearing others down. What if we made it a point to help each other rise? What if, when someone is struggling, we offer a hand instead of a critic? Because at the end of the day, lifting someone else doesn't take anything away from you. In fact, it makes us all stronger because we are all one. When you shun another, you're just shunning yourself as well. So let's stop being the ones who profit from the pain of others. Let's start being the ones who make a difference. And I hope that helps. So I will see you when you see me next. And I hope nobody is taking this personally at all, because it concerns all of us and we have to learn something from all these dramas and other people mining into other people's business. Till then, so take care of yourself, be loved, be cherished, and stay safe. With much love, God bless.